Jessica Soho, welcome to the GMA Pinoy TV podcast.
Hi, Tony. Hello, everyone.
Congratulations on another achievement, the Icon of Filipino Media Excellence Award by the Global Filipino magazine.
Thank you to the Filipino community in Dubai, especially to the Global Filipino magazine for giving me this award. I'm so grateful and honored, and also because it brought me to Dubai and it inspired my program KMJS to produce stories about our global Filipinos in Dubai. It took us so long to come over, but I think it's worth it because the stories from here are excellent. They're good. They're worth producing features for KMJS. KMJS na yan.
Kapag may mga ganitong award, ma'am, ano yung feeling? I mean, is it a receipt of everything you have accomplished, or in a way, mas nakaka-pressure din para sa'yo?
Both, to be honest. Tony, you know, I've always been consistent in telling our reporters and our producers or those who I trained na it should never be about us. We are not the story. When you're a journalist, you're there to listen to the stories and to tell their stories in the best possible way. It should not be about you. You are not the story. We have to check ourselves to not be so full of ourselves, 'di ba? Dapat mas nakikinig tayo, and whatever rewards or consequences that come our way, consequences lang 'yon. We're not hindi 'yun ang dapat na reasons for our being. Like in my case, I took up journalism kasi in UP, no? Ideally, I should have ended up working for print journalism. And in print journalism, you get bylines, but you're not supposed to be seen, di ba? Wala sa consciousness ko, or I did not really plan on becoming well-known or becoming famous. Wala sa akin yan. Ang alam ko lang, I'm a reporter or a journalist. I have to get the story. I have to get the story or the stories right. Kailangan makaabot ako sa deadline. Hindi ako mapagalitan ng editor ko. Day in and day out, when I was a reporter, ganun yung mindset ko. And then when they made me producer, or when they made me head of the news, ganun pa rin. Kasi we don't really have the luxury of internalizing things too much or overthinking other than the story. Siguro ang naging edge ko, or I think it's also a curse, no, or a problem. Masyado akong focused sa work. Laging work. Hindi nga maintindihan ng tatay ko nun why I have to go to, kailangan salubungin yung bagyo. Parang, pag inisip mo nga, to laymen, napaka-ridiculous nun, di ba?
Nagre-report ka, ma'am, na, stay away from these places.
Oo, tapos kami yung sasalubong sa mga bagyo. And then when they quarantine Holo, for example, dahil may gulo sa Holo dati, parang ginawang off-limits yung Holo. Heto kami nagkukumahog para makapasok ng Holo just when people were being asked to evacuate. Ganun kasi yung training ko. So, that's how I look at my job and myself. So, hindi ko naman inisip yung
awards. No?
Yeah, and sometimes my friends tell me, you have to embrace whatever comes your way. So, yun hindi ko pa nahahack. All these years, 40 years na ako next year, no, January 2025. Pero hindi ko pa rin siya nahahack. Day in, day out, I'm still trying to put one foot over the other lang para matapos ng yung araw. Magawa ko yung mga kailangan kong gawin. Nothing is ever simple, siguro in my case. Parang lagi akong may iniisip for the story, for the program. So I suppose that's how it is, no? I think we also need to learn a thing or two from the millennials and the Gen Z. Kasi sila yung nag-i-invoke ng work-life balance. So nung una ko narinig yan, ano yun?
Kasi totoo, ma'am.
I
Totoo.
never knew that. Tsaka hindi ko parang pag
Ang
siguro
Gen Z, yes.
pag sinagot ako ng ganun ng mga producer at reporter dati, sabi ko, ano? Kasi laging ang turo ko sa kanila is, na sinabi rin, actually, this is from Malu Mangahas, who used to help us out, di ba? Na parang, journalism is a far bigger cause than any one of us. So we have to bleed for our stories. We have to lose sleep over our stories. We have to really work hard for our stories. It is never about us. So it's far bigger than any one of us. So kumbaga, ang pinaka-importante sa lahat yung istorya. Because hindi lang yan simpleng storya Yung makikinig at manunood sa atin, may impact sa kanila yung storya natin. So lagi akong ganon. When I was running the news, for example, lagi akong natatakot na baka pumalpak ako at mananagot ako dun sa mga nauna sa amin, yung mga pioneers ng GMA News. So lagi akong takot kay Mr. Seva, kay Tina Palma, na baka isang araw tatawagan nila ako, "Hoy, anong ginagawa niyo sa news? Bakit ganyan?" So parang I was always conscious of that, na we have to build on what they established. Kasi actually, ang ganda ng history ng GMA News GMA News was put up by the former ABS-CBN producers and reporters who lost their jobs during martial law. I think may kwento to So it's a good opportunity for me to make kwento dito sa podcast mo. Nawalan sila ng trabaho sa ABS-CBN. Sila Mr. Seva, si June Bautista, si Tony Luzano, si Ray Vidal, yung mga cameramen, si Steve Serna, si Mang Rick Villegas, si Nap Pineda, si Boy Sonsa. Yung mga news pioneers, nawalan sila ng trabaho sa ABS kasi nagsara. So ang ginawa nila, so for I don't know how many years, wala silang trabaho. Until one day, I don't know who came up with the bright idea. Bumili tayo ng block time sa GMA. Kasi ang GMA nun, pinapalabas combat. Tsaka kung ano pang programa. Ang news lang daw ng GMA nun, si Uncle Bob Stewart would get the newspaper and read the newspaper sa TV. Yun ang news nila. So, ang ginawa ng mga taga-ABS, bumili sila ng airtime sa GMA, and then that was how GMA News started. So, dahil alam ko yung ganon na pinagsimulan ng news, parang lagi akong natatakot when I was head of news na baka pumalpak ako. Kawawa naman yung mga nag-put up nito, yung mga pioneers. We were standing on their shoulders. So, I did my best along with everyone. Ayoko naman mag-claim ng credit. The news is never the credit of a single person or any program or any story for that matter sa news and public affairs. Lagi naman tayong team effort. So, lagi akong natatakot. I was always running scared. So, siguro yun ang problem ko. I'm always too focused.
Your thoughts on traditional media versus the new media platforms?
I worry and I lose sleep over this. Actually, kasi nakikita ko to, actually okay pa nga ang Pilipinas Kasi mataas pa yung credibility at trust sa traditional news sources. Although social media is, I think, siya na ang leading source of news ngayon. Ang bilis nagbago. Parang in a matter of several years lang. Dati, TV ang main source. Biglang, after a few years, social media na ang news source. We're still better off kasi sa Amerika talaga mababa ang trust na ng
At saka
traditional
JS,
media.
I remember kasi ang turo nyo sa amin talaga, before you break it, you have to make sure. Yung sources, di ba?
Yeah, but now, iba na.
Iba na ang labanan.
So, yes, I worry, but again, I'm still a student of what's happening. Hindi naman tayo talaga tumitigil being a student Kailangan aralin kung saan papunta ang mga bagay-bagay. And I have discussions with, let's just call them experts or thought leaders in media about this. No? Sometimes we text each other, I call them up, saan ba papunta tong AI, and I don't know, hindi ko rin alam where things are going, but what I know for sure is yung values that we have should not change. Kasi that is what's going to distinguish us from anyone who calls himself content creator nowadays. Kasi parang iniisip ko rin parang, does it still matter? It should, no? Reporter kasi talaga ako to the very core of my being. I try to stop myself from making subjective judgments on things. So, laging parang baka naman may ibig sabihin, baka naman kaya nanalo si Trump, kaya naman tumatakbo siya ulit. Pero baka naman tama rin yung sinasabi ng kabila na, he's a threat to democracy. Parang, every time I think about what's happening, laging buo, laging may context. Because that was how I was trained as a journalist. Dapat tama. Ako yun eh. Sa isang elections tagline, ako yung nakaisip nun. If I go back to that value that we hold sacred, or siguro ilan sa atin, kailangan maniwala tayo na there's a better way of doing things. We still have to believe in the things that are good and pure in this world. Kasi if we go down the jaded mindset, then it's probably going to be a downward spiral. At tandaan natin, ang bilis magbago ng mga bagay-bagay sa mundo. Parang, di ba, ganun lang, iba na, may ibang platform na. Parang isang ganun lang, lahat ng tao sumasayaw sa TikTok at kumakanta. Parang, wow, di ba nung malilit tayo, pilitan pa tayo, program, pinipilit pa tayong kumanta, sumayaw. Ngayon, pati Thunder sumasayaw sa TikTok, di ba? Parang, ang bilis magbago.
Tsaka yung mga reels, ma'am. Ngayon, TikTok and reels.
Parang, ang bilis magbago ng mundo, di ba? Parang people you least expect, wow, wala nang inhibition, sayaw kung sayaw.
KMJS, 20th anniversary nyo na. So you talked about the changes. Ang KMJS din, ang dami naging changes, pati ikaw.
Yeah. It's humbling for me. Kasi ako traditional ako mag-isip. And then I trained either directly or indirectly the ones who are running KMJS now. Kasi talent na lang ako ngayon. Strictly speaking, I'm just a talent host. The program has my name, my voice, ano pa bang meron? And I'm the face of the program. Pero the ones who are running it now are people I trained directly or indirectly.
And you trust them because you train them.
But it's humbling na marami akong hindi alam. Sila na ang nagtuturo sa akin. The values I still try to remind them of or instill in the younger ones. Pero mas marami na ako natututunan sa kanila. Hindi ko alam yung language ng mga millennials or Gen Z to begin with. And they're part of our demographics now. Diba? Kasi sila rin yung pinanggagalingan ng story. Anong araw kasi we used to say na, yung mga bata hindi manunood ng news. I attended one conference in the US where it was said na the younger ones, they don't really watch the news until they start paying taxes. Alam mo yun? Parang wala sa consciousness nila. Pero parang kahit yun, hindi mo na alam ngayon kasi woke yung mga generation ngayon eh. They make it their business to know. So, they're part of the landscape. They're part of the demographics that we're targeting. So, then we have to know what they're thinking, how they do things, ang galing nila sa technology. Fan nila ako. Marami silang mga bagay-bagay na sinasabi na, oo nga, like, one time nagkasakit yung pamangkin ko, mga Gen Z. Sabi ng kapatid ko, manang ipapainom na gamot. Sabi ko, ito, ganyan. Tapos, maya-maya tumatawag. Bakit daw kailangan niyang inumin yung gamot na yun? So, naggalit ako, di ba? Insist ko, may sakit kasi, ba itong, ikaw nga may sakit, magagalit ka pa. And then, napaisip ako. Sabi ko, oo nga, pinapainom mo yung gamot sa kanila, syempre may karapatan siyang malaman para saan yung gamot na yon. Iba na eh. Di ba yung generation natin, pag sinabi, lunok, di ba? Ngayon nagtatanong sila, is that good or is that bad? I think it's good. Di ba? So, marami tayong matututunan sa mga generations ngayon na hindi natin nalaman nun. It's the same way with my producers in KMJS. Marami silang tinuturo na words na for the life of me, may ganyan pala. Wrong spelling yung aesthetic nyo, lagyan nyo ng A. Mga ganon. Kasi salita nila yun, aesthetic. Ma'am, aesthetic. Ano ba yung aesthetic na yan? It just means that you have to be more presentable. Diba? Kailan mag-accessorize. Ako, napaka-foreign sa akin ng mga ganyang bagay. And that's how it goes. I think it's good. Pero going back, I still think that we have to hold on to those values na natutunan natin. Kasi Accuracy is going to be accuracy, di ba? Kaya maniwala kayo sa katotohanan or sa fake news. Facts are facts. Facts matter. Sabi nga ng mga blurb ng mga international news agencies.
Tune in for the second part of our podcast with Jessica Soho on August 2.